Hello, welcome to my journey to Mount Whitney. This is the final episode of this series. I'm here in Whitney Campground. I got here early so I can get acclimated to the elevation before my hike tomorrow. I got up early this morning and did a nice little hike up to Lone Pine Lake. There and back was about 8 miles. That's a nice little warm-up before tomorrow's big hike up to Mount Whitney, the tallest mountain in the lower 48. And I wanted to show you guys what I will be bringing on my trek to Mount Whitney. So the first thing is, it's going to be early. I'm leaving at 4 in the morning. I'm expecting it to be chilly. So I have my beanie and my gloves. And I'll be wearing this with a sweater. And I will be taking that off probably a couple hours into my hike and then putting them back on when I get to the top, because I hear it's going to be about 60 degrees, lots of wind, and so that'll be good to have to keep me nice and warm. Next is my light. I will be leaving at 4 in the morning, so it's going to be dark and I don't want to be tripping over my feet or boulders or crevices or whatever. So I'll be using this for a couple hours into my hike before the sun comes up. Next is my water and my water purification tablets. This is 32 ounces. I'll be having 2 of these in my backpack, and I will be filling them up along the way. And if I have any questionable water, I throw these tabs in there. Makes it healthy so I don't get sick. Last thing I want is to get sick in the middle of this hike. I have a map. This gives me all the landmarks I'll be looking for with the mileage, and I will be having my Apple Watch with my Strava app, so I could be matching the miles to this. So if I get like way off course, I'll kind of know it by looking at these landmarks. I have my GoPro. I will be using this to get some hands-free footage. I want this video to be as good as possible, so I'll be using this when I can't use my hands to record. I have my walkie-talkie. There's no cell phone service up here, so this will be a good way of me being in contact with my family, letting them know where I'm at. They could check on me, and I could give them a final message that I made it to the top. So that'll be this will be handy and for my safety. There's not much blocking the sun once you get higher up, so I'll be using a lot of sunblock. I'll be putting this on at least a couple times an hour. And as I said, I want this footage to be as good as possible, so I have a gimbal. I'll be putting my phone in here so I can get some nice stable shots. And last but not least, I have my hiking poles. I don't know how much I'll be using these heading up, but I think I will definitely be using them heading down because I will be exhausted. So that's about it. I feel good about this. As you see, I'm well prepared. I got I got some good training hikes in before this. I got some good boots. They feel good. So I'm excited. Okay, so I'm gonna go get some nice dinner, hit the bed about 8 o'clock or so, wake up at 3, get a lot of sleep, and head out for this beautiful hike. So it's 4 in the morning and I'm starting right on time. It's very dark out here. I'm the only one here, which is cool. The stars are out. The moon is lit, so it's a little bit of light, but I got my trusty headlamp here to help me on the beginning of this. All right, let's head on out. 22 miles to go. it to Lone Pine Lake. It's about 5:45 in the morning. Made it here in about an hour and a half or so. Pretty uneventful besides seeing a family of deer. That was pretty cool. It's a beautiful morning. It's cool seeing the sunrise come over the mountains. That was awesome. So I'm gonna sit here for a few minutes, have a snack, and take on off. So my next stop is Outpost Camp, about a mile away. So I'm here at Outpost Camp. We're about 3.5 miles in, about 10,400 elevation, I believe. I feel good so far. No signs of acclimation sickness. Just had a sandwich, feeling good. It's a beautiful morning out here. Yeah, the trail to this point so far is easily visible. I had no problem getting up here. Some beautiful views. Okay, off we go. So I'm here at Mirror Lake. Look how beautiful that is. Wow. This is an awesome view. Okay, so I'm about 6 miles in. It's getting warm out here. Good thing I got sunblock. I'm still feeling pretty good though. Just trucking along. I think I have about 1.5 miles or so to get to trail camp. And then at that point I'll have some lunch and relax. I'm just taking my time. No rush. It's a beautiful day. So I'm now at trail camp. It is now 10:30. I'm about, let's see, 6.5 hours into my hike. I'm now about to hit the infamous 99 switchbacks. All right, yeah, it's getting pretty hot out here. I don't really feel much anything from the acclimation yet, or the altitude. Maybe, I don't know. I guess I'll find out when I get higher, but so far I feel pretty good. That last stretch was kind of hard. There's a lot of uphill going up steps, which was tough. It was nice to sit here for a minute and have a break and have a sandwich and get some water. And now we're about to head out. Okay, here we go. Man, these switchbacks are no joke. Show's been going on forever. The view is awesome. Look at that snow behind me. Ooh. It's all worth it. Okay, so I made it to Trail Crest. 1,000 feet more to go, elevation wise. I think about another 2 miles or so. Whew, man, the switchbacks were horrible. I was about to quit, but I had to tell myself one step at a time. But it's worth it. I'm almost there. Man, look at this view. It's beautiful. All right, off we go. to the top. This was by far the hardest thing I have ever done. It took me, gosh, about 12 hours, I think. 11, something like that. It was awful, man. I was expecting to be back by 6. I'm probably not gonna be back until like 8 or 9. But man, this was tough. Will I do it again? I don't know. I'll probably have to think about that for a few days, but the views were awesome. Man, but I'm gonna have to talk about this in a few days when the agony subsides. And this was horrible. Oh man. Okay, well, let me head back down and hopefully get my hamburger. But I'm glad I did it. I did, but I'm only halfway done. Now I got to go all the way back down, which hopefully should be easier.
Hey, it's about 9:08. Just want to see if your cell phone's on and how you're doing. So, to get this message, call us. Bye.
So as you see, I'm safe and sound. It's a week later, and you're probably wondering, Anthony, what happened? I don't know if it was because of the elevation or the fatigue, but on the way down the summit and throughout Trail Crest, I ended up getting off the trail twice, which killed about 30 minutes of precious daylight. Also, while on the trail crest, I ended up slipping and falling 5 times. One of those times I badly twisted my ankle, but I knew if I did not stop that it would swell up and it would just get worse, and I had to keep pushing through the pain. Another time, I almost slipped down the ravine, but luckily I grabbed a secure rock and was able to get myself back up onto the trail. But I did lose one of my poles. But I kept on pushing. I had 2 goals. One, to get to the bottom of the 99 switchbacks before it got dark. And second, to try to catch up with another group of hikers that could lead me to the trailhead in Mount Whitney. Luckily, I got to the bottom of the switchbacks right before it got dark, but I still wasn't out of it. I knew that I would not be able to navigate myself from trail camp all the way to the trailhead by myself in the dark, because as I've mentioned in the past, my sense of direction is not the best. But luckily, God sent me a wet, muddy footprint. When I saw that, I knew that there's another group of hikers not far ahead. So I pushed past the pain in my ankle and my one hiking stick, and I finally caught up to them. My angels, the angels that God sent down for me to get home safely. I told them my story about my ankle, about me falling down, getting lost a couple times, my lack of sense of direction. And they said, we might be slow, but we'll get you home. And that is what they did. When I finally got back to Trailhead at 1:30 a.m., my darling wife was in the car waiting for me. She was there since 10:30 p.m. Can you imagine the things that were going through her head? And that was all my fault. I never should have done that to her or my family. I put my own life at risk, all because of a goal. a goal that I was not prepared for. As you're going through those moments of danger, possibly losing your life or getting injured, the only thing you're thinking about is your loved ones. You're not thinking about your goals. You're not thinking about medals. You're not thinking about YouTube subscribers or Instagram followers. None of that. The only thing you care about during those times are your relationships, your loved ones, and connections. During that time, all I wanted to do was get back to my wife and give her a big hug and tell my kids that I loved them. That was it. So if you're a beginning hiker and you are going to do Mount Whitney, I have 3 tips for you so you don't end up in the same situation I did. 1, leave early. Leave about 12 a.m., 1 a.m. at the latest. So then if it does take you a while like it did me, you'll have plenty of sunlight to get back at least to one of the camps. 2nd, do not do it one day. If you are a beginning hiker, do it in 2 days. Hike to Outpost Camp or Trail Camp, stay there, and just do it the next day. Enjoy yourself. It's a beautiful hike. Don't make it dangerous. And it's exhausting. So you want to get as much rest as possible. 3rd, and the most important thing, do not go by yourself. Go with a group. The more, the merrier, as they say. So those are my 3 tips. I hope they inspired you to not make the same mistake I did. But I want you to have a good time. It is a wonderful hike, but give that 14,508 foot behemoth the respect it deserves, and be prepared. So if you liked this video, if you found it inspiring or helpful, please hit that like button. Also, if you want to follow me on my other adventures, which probably won't include hiking, please hit that subscribe button. Thank you for following me on my journey to Mount Whitney. I appreciate it, and I hope that it inspires you to get out there more, move your body, enjoy this wonderful earth that God has given us.